Do you think we'll reach a nuclear agreement with Iran? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. It seems unlikely because, yeah, Israel wants war with Iran, and we do what Israel wants because Israel isn't a country. Israel is essentially like a corporate front for the most evil people in the world masquerading as a country. Military industrial complex, etc., etc. We've done it all before. So if Israel wants war, it's war we get. Trump complained Monday about the pace of nuclear talks between the US and Iran as the two countries start a new round of pivotal negotiations. I think they're tapping us along, he said in the Oval Office during a meeting with Bukele. The next meeting is expected to take place on Saturday in Rome. Why would you go for peace with Iran when you have several carrier groups and a third of your stealth bombers there? Well, you could argue that it's an attempt at intimidation, but yeah, it does kind of seem like we're ready to commit to warfare no matter what. I don't know. I don't know. The Iranian government's manufacturing consent for it hard. In which direction? For a deal or for opposing the deal? For a deal, okay. I mean, it makes sense that Iran would want a deal. They did agree to the first one with Obama, after all. It just depends on, like, what the conditions of the deal will be. Also, Iran is fully aware of the fact that, like, Israel wants to nuke them. And as powerful as Iran is, and they are quite strong, relatively, you know, a combined war against Israel and America would be devastating for them. They don't want that. Speaking of Iran, Trump said, I want them to be a rich, great nation. However, he said, these are radicalized people and they cannot have a nuclear weapon. That's funny. That's how I talk about America. I'm sorry. I want you to be wealthy. I want you to have the nice clothing, but you can't have a nuke. I'm sorry. Americans, they're just too radicalized. Can I get that clip? Can I get a clip on that? It's clearly like a chunk out of the conversation with Bukele. I want to see how long was it? Was it just one question from a reporter? Let me look up Iran. Iran deal?
We have another meeting scheduled next Saturday.
Perfect.
Meeting with them on Saturday. We have another meeting scheduled next Saturday. I said that's a long time. You know, that's a long time. So I think they might be tapping us along. But Iran has to get rid of the concept of a nuclear weapon. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. He can't have a nuclear weapon. Nobody can have. We can't have anybody having nuclear weapons. You know.
Anybody.
We can't have nuclear weapons. And I think they're tapping us along because we're so used to dealing with stupid people in this country. Only thing is one thing, simple. It's really simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon, and they got to go fast because they're fairly close to having one. And they're not going to have one. And if we have to do something very harsh, we'll do it. And I'm not doing it for us, I'm doing it for the world. And these are radicalized people, and they cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Does that include a potential strike on Iranian nuclear facilities?
Of course it does. We had a meeting with them on Saturday.
I don't know. It's just considering the fact that we so rarely do anything to contradict the foreign policy interests of the state of Israel, you know, it seems so unlikely to me that we would pull back from conflict when it's so obvious that Israel wants permanent war. But I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, the Trump administration would want war as well because, you know, a big war would do a lot to distract. Wouldn't this be really dangerous for Israel? Well, sure, but it's not like Netanyahu gives a shit about the safety of the citizens of Israel, right? Like, Netanyahu's done nothing but threaten them by escalating and, you know, drawing war in the region and so on and so forth, you know? Oman wants to be negotiator. Head of the UN's nuclear watchdog separately confirmed he wants to take a trip to Iran later in the week. Okay. Doesn't Iran already have a nuke? If they do, they haven't made that publicly known. It is possible, but unlikely. Haley Spence, I have mixed opinions on Iran having a nuke. I do think that Iran having nukes is less dangerous than Israel having nukes, for what it's worth. So, you know, any argument that you could make about instability or radicalization over in Iran, I think that, like, the Iranian government is probably more rational for its own interest than the interest of its neighbors than Israel is. But that's a low bar. I don't think very much of Israel, to be honest with you. That's a pretty low bar. Isn't the delivery system for the nuke really the question? Not for Israel, because Israel is close enough to Iran that we know Iran is capable of delivering it. ICBMs would only be necessary if they wanted to strike America, which, yeah, they don't have ICBMs. Okay, but Iran literally just kills gay people for fun? What are you talking about? It's a homophobic theocracy with a religious morality police, and they do execute people for being gay. I don't know what that has to do with what we're talking about. I mean, if you want to talk about extrajudicial killings, Israel has racked up quite a scoreboard lately. We're not trying to compare two bad bitches. I'm talking about like nations acting in perceived self-interest. I'm not talking about whether or not one country is more evil than another. Though if we were talking about that, I would still say Israel is significantly more evil than Iran. So it's not a contest. I'm just saying that if it was, that would be the ruling from me. Yeah, the bar is pretty low here. The bar is not, we're not dealing with exemplars of moral behavior. I'll say that much. Iran having nukes can't be worse than India and Pakistan, right? I mean, India's fine with the nukes, right? Isn't Pakistan the one that's like crazy? Pakistan's like, India is a country. Pakistan's like a crazy, corrupt military junta with like a massive internal conflicts. Yeah, I feel like India's more stable than, Pakistan by a pretty wide margin. But I don't know, it's complicated. Pakistan has tactical nukes. They repeatedly threaten to shoot at Indian bases. Don't worry, they're just tactical nukes. What's a tactical nuke is like, well, what if you like did a bombing run, whatever. Not even that big of a deal. Just a tactical nuke. Can't cause nuclear winter via a tactical nuke. Just a little nuke, you pussy. I do think it's kind of funny that Trump is saying he wants Iran to be a wealthy nation, they just can't have nukes, when his main criticism of Obama's nuclear accord with Iran was that it unfroze Iranian assets and lifted sanctions, thereby allowing the country to become wealthier. Like, he's literally said that deal was bad because Iran got money from it, and now he's like, well, we want Iran to have money, we just don't want them to have the nukes. It's almost like he's full of shit. I can't believe it. Let me make sure that I'm not missing something on the current state of affairs vis-a-vis Iran.
You give us an update on Iran?
Well, we're going to be doing it very shortly. Iran also, it was another way. I met with a different group of people in Iran, and we'll be making a decision on Iran very quickly.
Ellie Kohanim is a former State Department Deputy Special Envoy who came to the U.S. as an Iranian refugee, and she joins us now.
These peak lapels on a single-breasted suit, the tastelessness with these people, it never ends, man. Jesus Christ, especially on Fox News.
Ellie, I think, good morning to you. I think this is a good first start, right?
It was a good first start, Lawrence. We heard...
His tie isn't even tied correctly? Holy shit, you're right. I didn't even notice. Look at that. There's like a half-inch gap here. What the hell?
It was a good
Spread
first start,
collar?
Lawrence. We
Christ.
heard a readout from both sides, from the United States and the Iranian side, that were very positive words. And we know that there is a follow-up meeting scheduled for 7 days later, this coming Saturday. Location seems to be determined to be in Europe, and making
Voice
it
like
easier
nails
on
on
our special
chalkboard.
envoy, Steve Witkoff. And so we've heard, again, positive words come out of the meeting. But let's be real that the president is very sanguine on the Iranian threat. In the past, he's called this.
She can't talk through the Botox. It's actually like hard to listen to her. Why is it? It's like everyone, like, it's not even like I'm anti-cosmetic surgery or whatever the fuck else, but like you're blustering through lip filler and Botox, and I can't hear you. God, it's crazy. You gotta hate yourself to be a conservative woman, man. I don't even want to listen to this shit. I don't know. We'll see how things go with Iran. I have no idea how things are going to go, because I have no idea how this relates to like Israel's wishes for us in Iran. Hopefully we don't go to war. Yeah, that'd be nice.